Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Papa Bale, and welcome to the channel. I've hooked up one of my reed switches that I bought from the store, and I hooked it up just the way I hooked up my other switch, with all three circuits divided and connected by the switch. So far, it's looking all right. We're working with 10 volts, zero point 0.7 amps. We're still in acceleration, I'm pretty sure. Uh, These are very like fragile switches, so like if you put voltage in them and then all of a sudden the amps start climbing, it'll probably break down. But this one, the light just broke. Everything's still working, so that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna do a few more volts. 12.5. We're at 1 amp. But the faster that goes, the amp should go down. 12.7 volts. That's awesome. I mean, I'm just so happy that the switch is working. I've gone through 8 of them so far, and I couldn't get any of them to like even make it move. So it was really getting really frustrating. Then I remembered somebody said just put it on top, and that's what I did, and it's working like a charm now. Uh-oh, that's it. The amps just broke off, just totally disappeared. Let's turn it up. I'm pretty sure that was it, the end of the story. You know what? So far, there has not been one piece of electronics, switch-wise, that has been able to perform as well as my homemade switch. For me, and something this size, and this much weight, this much mass. Nothing else has worked good at all. I mean, the magnetic energy coming off of these magnets alone is enough to fry the Hall effect sensor immediately. You just turn it on and it's dead. Or maybe I have it hooked up wrong. Whatever it is, I mean, but you know, brown is plus, blue is negative, and the black hooks up to, I believe just plugging it back into the negative would work, or the positive. I'm not sure which one. See there, that might be the problem. The base, um, I'm just connecting it back into the circuit so that whatever energy splits off to the base just goes right back in. Um, I've hooked the base up to a LED before, and really all that does is pulse a light, pulse the LED, um, just like it pulses uh, the light on the back of the Hall effect sensor itself. See, it's got a little LED built right into it. So I mean, putting an LED on the base is redundant. And they blink in sync with one another, so it's like very pointless to put a light on your base. So I would just redirect that energy back into the cycle, and hopefully you get a little bit out of it. But I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I mean, the switch that I built is so hardy that I've been able to do things with it that you can't do with stuff like this. Okay, you just can't do it because it's gonna. And if you hook it up so it doesn't fry, then your shit isn't gonna work at all, because then you got way too much resistance, like way too much. All right, so I have a little bit of a dilemma. It is a little dilemma. I gotta get a hardy switch that's not gonna fry on me. If anybody has any other materials that I might use for a switch, let me know. Right now, all I have is copper and iron screws. Thank God I got some iron screws, you know. Maybe they're steel screws. I'm not sure, but they have high iron content in them because they're very magnetic. And there's lots of types of steel that have no magnet, like absolutely nothing. So like this one right here, this is a good example. This is steel. Steel, right? No magnetic, nothing. Okay, I mean, there's all types of that stuff out there. I like the stuff with the high iron content because it's magnetic. It's impure, and the impurities. Wah! I'm talking about different types of steel now. I'm not talking about pure iron or anything like that. I'm talking about alloy steel. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, somebody please elaborate. It's the iron in the steel that and then you can have, you know, two types of steel, not just Damascus style, different colors and different grades of steel, but you can actually have more pure and less pure steel, soft and hard, combination of that. But it's called soft iron. I have lots of cores of soft iron. You can kind of see from here. Let me zoom in on that. See those iron cores right there? Yeah, that's real, and I can do that. Can shove an iron core right in that hole right there. See what that does. Granted, it's probably going to be holding up everything a little bit in the coast, but that flux, once it gets over the hump, man, it's going to create a tremendous amount of speed and force. One more thing, I'm probably not going to be generating, showing a multimeter reading for very much. I mean, like as soon as I get this squared away, I might hook up something that will read it. But there's nothing to read right now. These are all hooked into the power supply, and therefore the reading will be prejudice. Because if you're looking for a voltage reading, you don't want it coming from your power supply. Okay, you don't want that. But all these coils are currently hooked up to the power supply in one way or another. So, and no, there is totally ways you can have coils on the rotor that are not hooked up to your drive circuit. So, you know, here I'll get one as an example. There's no place to put it right now though. There's another rotor, but this right here is a 38 gauge single wire coil. This thing will generate 220 volts of AC electricity by itself when hooked up to that rotor. Those two together generate over 400. Whoops. All right, so that's where we are, and this is what the switch connection looks like right now. So if anybody has any like ideas, or they've know how to make a switch using either other materials, or definitely I'd like to make a switch out of like some iron, just because right now I'm attaching an iron screw to some copper and the screws keep coming out. There's nothing I can do about it. I could glue it in there, but that would really mess with its ability to generate and switch. Yada yada. glue is bad for that situation. Been trying to get these MOSFETs to trigger this thing and make it work, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to do that, like where I put it, how many wires it needs to be connected to. And yeah, I would love to be able to get that to trigger and run the pulse motor at high frequency, very high speeds. Okay, the frequency right now is from 60 to 80. I want it to be up around 200, 300, between 3 and 400. But it's only 9 magnets. Maybe that's the problem. Now, I have one of these. It's a pulse signal generator. I don't know how to hook it into my circuit so that it'll work. I've experimented a little bit with the timing on it. 1 works the best, and 3 and 4 work pretty good. Hertz, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how to get it to trigger. I don't know how to get it to use the electricity generated by the coils in the flyback spikes, because that's what I'm running the thing on, is flyback spikes, analog electricity. I don't really want to use this. I just want it to pass a coil, have it send the electricity to the MOSFET, have the MOSFET do what it's going to do with it, and then just have everything continue the way it's going. Well, better than the way it's going. Oh, dude. Thank you very much. Peace out. Please subscribe. Have a wonderful night. Bye now.